time to mount my JessEm clear-cut stock guides to my Harvey High-Low Master RIP fence next. I'm Rick, and this shut the heck up, you stinking roosters. For your sanity. This is the shack. Hey everybody, welcome. In this video, we're going to finally unbox and mount my JessEm clear-cut stock guides. I've had these here for a while, waiting on my table saw. Now that I have my table saw up and running, finally I can add these things to it and get all my jigs set up. It's just a long process. The one thing we do have to overcome is the fact that the Harvey table saw has a high-low RIP fence. This is basically set up for just a traditional style RIP fence, just plain box, nothing with a high-low fence on the side. So that's an obstacle that we have to overcome. They would like you to mount this to your RIP fence, basically drill into it. Don't want that. I've opted to do like a lot of other woodworkers out there, use some magnets to hold it in place, and you can release those magnets, take it off if you don't need it, or you need to change something or use jigs or something. It's just a nice option not to have it permanently mounted. What we're going to do is I'm going to unbox it. We're going to lay out here, make sure we have everything, set it up on the RIP fence, and just see how much higher I'm going to have to go to be able to get this mounted on here. That way it will clear the high-low fence. There. See what we have in here. Okay, here's right out of the gate, there's your track. Let me see what I think it's just tools in here. It's pretty nice that they actually provide a torque tip. So now you got your instructions. Ooh, these are nice. Wow. Nothing else in there. I love these things. They're just unbelievable, the quality of feel in that build. I'm so thankful these things are made in Canada, man. It is just phenomenal. Let's see. So basically, this track you're supposed to mount to the top of your RIP fence, and then these, got that long bar, these slide in there. There we go. What I have basically is an inch clearance. Set that on 3/4. See if I set it flat on the ground. Yes, hitting. Actually, I'm not too bad. I'm only going to need a 3/4 piece of wood. That will work fine. 3/4 piece, perfect. Just enough above that fence. It extends, so actually that will work. Mag switch has finally arrived. These are only 95 pounds a piece, which are plenty. You know, see? Click it on. So I don't need 130, 40 pound, whatever. 95 pounds a piece is plenty for this. This is about 7/8. Yeah, we're close 7/8 diameter here. I got a 7/8 Forstner bit. I can get the center and then measure off each side, so I can set my Forstner bit to one end, drill through, slide the wood over, set the Forstner bit at the other end, drill through, and I'll just clean up the center part. The other thing is, this isn't really 3/4, it's 7/5/6. It's just a little bit proud. The problem is, this is not even close to 3/4. It's 7/4/4/3. One thing I don't want, see, this would be sitting like that. You know what, that ain't really too bad. That's so close, I don't know, man. You know what, I think I'm gonna redo this now. I think I'm just going to use this I think I'll go ahead and drill that out just to see. I have a couple other things figured out. So I was looking at the bag of screws here, and this is mainly for metal, self-tapping screws, and there's really no wood screws. So what I'm getting, I have some number 8 3/4 wood screws. They'll fit right in there. Perfect. So I'm going to center it on here, on this wood, and then I'll drill these holes out. Better than I expected it to go. Ooh, slick Willy, man. I like that. So now, I gotta figure out where I want those to set. I'll do 1 3/8. Now I want to go dead center. So let me mark that bad boy. This is one, oh, you can't see it. 1.182. I got a 0.595. 0.591 is half. I'm just going to slide that in till it hits that. That's good right there. So that's far where I want. I'm going to drill this out, then drill this side out. My first attempt, I think actually looks really good. I think they'll fit in there. So I'm going to take my little rasp. I'm going to file this. See, because I got round there, so I got a little hump in the middle. And I got to file that out. Let me see, where am I at? That may do it right there. Oh, it's so close. Oh, no, there it goes. Man, that is tight. I think that's going to work. Lock it. With that side and that side locked down, yeah, that ain't going nowhere. Well, I've decided I'm not going to countersink these. I got some machine screws that are just long enough they'll fit in there. So what I'm going to do, since when I put these in, I won't be able to get the guides in there, so I got to see which way they go. That one's that way. Okay, so they're both this way. So that's, and loosen that, slide it over. Okay, so I'm going to put this back in here. There we have it. That bad boy's done. So let me reposition the camera. We're going to set it on the fence. So let's see how these are going to work. I'm going to flush it off back here. The hole right there, so I got plenty of room. I'll flush it up back there. I'm going to turn that one on. Now I turn that one on. Oh man, yeah, that ain't coming off. Cool. So I got to readjust these now. Just a little bit. I'm going to bring you over here so you can see a little bit better, and we're going to unloosen this and readjust it. Now I was reading in the instructions, and you need to keep this at 30 degrees. So I have my bevel gauge here from Woodpecker. I got this right on 30 degrees. So I kind of got it set. It's right, well, not quite 30 degrees, but it's close. It's 30 degrees right there. It's too high up, so I need to extend it down. So what I need to do, I need to undo these. I don't know if I can go any further because right there, I can't go down to the next one. So that's as far as it'll go before it bottoms out. Make sure that's still 30 degrees. Yeah, that's really good. That's nice 30 degrees right there. So I'm going to drop down the other one, and I think we're basically done with this. Now, if you have the blade guard and the dust collection on your table saw, you may not be able to utilize the rear guide depending on how thin of a cut you're going to do, but you can still use it on the front before your blade guard and the dust collection unit. It will still help keeping it down on the table saw and against the fence. You just won't be able to utilize the rear because it's going to get in the way. You don't have no room back there. I'm going to show you real quickly just how this works. You set the body of this onto your stock. Make sure it's not hitting the wheel. You make sure it's just on the edge right there. What I do, I just put my finger on to hold it so there's no chance of it maybe moving or something. Make sure it's down against there and snug it. Now what I'm going to do, you'll see it lift up. I'm just going to get it right underneath the material. Right there, lift it up. I'm going to put my hand here. I'm going to try to keep the material right next to my hand, but you're going to see this is going to be pushed right to the fence. I can't stop it. Right there, it hit the fence. Now, the front has hit the fence. It's going to bring the rest of the material along the fence too. I can't stop it. Right there. This is where I was keeping it. Try to keep it. It pushes it against it. It holds it firm on the tabletop and snug against the fence. That is fantastic. So we'll do the other one too. We'll use the back one. Same thing. Bring it down. I just hold it down, snug it up. Let me make sure all my things are tight here. I'm going to loosen up the back, bring it down, snug it, hold it there, snug it up. I'm good to go. I'm going to do the same thing, start off as far as I can, and it's going to just bring it right to it. I have no choice. There it is. And when it gets to the second one, you can feel a little bit more resistance because now you have two pushing down, but it is fantastic. It just adds that level of security, knowing that I have something very safe now. This is keeping it down on the table, snug against the fence, especially the outfeed, holding it here, keeping it to the fence, adds that much more safety, making sure that there's no way that's going to pinch, have kickback. Plus, when these are both through, I can't bring that back. I can't bring it back. It's going to hold it there. Now, if it was out here on the end, I could grab it and probably yank it, but you can't hold it there. I can't bring it back. I can't get kickback. I just can't do it. Basically, that's it. We're pretty much done. If you had any concerns as far as the European style high-low fence, yes, you can mount this to it. I actually spoke with JessEm. I just got off the phone, so I'm redoing this part of the video. So I'm going to bring you back down here. We're going to kind of look at this. I'm going to go over a few things to hopefully answer any questions you may have or put your mind at ease. And if I don't answer your questions, please feel free to hit the comment section below and ask them, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. There has been a concern about people calling JessEm, because I just got off the phone talking with them. People were wondering if this would fit the high-low system. Well, as you see here, it does. But you have to retrofit it, basically. You can't mount this permanently to your RIP fence. I personally wouldn't want, because even if I didn't have the high-low, people would put jigs and box their RIP fences for jigs and different things. Why would I want this permanent? It interfere with all that. I would still want something to be able to take this off, make it more of a mobile situation if I want to put something else on my RIP fence. And the only reason why I used 3/4 inch stock was because of the mag switches, because they are 3/4 of an inch depth between this surface and the bottom down here. If it wasn't for that, You would only need about 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch spacer for this to have the clearance to get over the high part of your high-low fence. That is if you want to put it as a more permanent fixture. But if you want to keep it in this configuration where it is able to be removed, then you have to do 3/4 because of the mag switches. Now the mag switches, you may ask, what do you really need? You don't need 130 pound, you don't need anything more than 95. Why? Because look at this. I can use my finger, push that up. This is a pre-loaded tension spring in here. I don't know how much I'm just going to say, even if this was 10 pounds of pressure, I could take that all the way up where spring almost bottoms out, and still I don't think is more than 10 pounds. So if I got 10 pounds of force going up and I got 95 pounds here, 95 pounds back here, that's 190 pounds of pressure being pushed down. Do you think 10 pounds is going to do anything with that? No, I can actually go up here, I can physically rip it off and it'll come loose. But this little bit of pressure isn't going to do nothing. 95 pounds of pressure on each of these mag switches is sufficient. Now, I did talk with JessEm, and when I was telling her about the high-low, she kind of went off and I had to stop her and said, I'm not concerned about this. My question was, when this high-low goes to the low position, the arms aren't long enough. Now, if I bring this out, that's as far as it'll go. Bring it down. I am 1 inch short of this wheel clearing the low portion of the high-low fence. Is there anything you can do, or do you have any suggestions? No, don't have any. They're not even considering this. They kind of looked at it and basically it's not worth the time to do anything right now. If the rod was 2 inches longer, it would work. Or I thought, it has a T-track here. Why not take this, put it in here? But I actually took the mag switch off, took this out, and then I realized, oh, wait a minute, it's not going to work. This rides and cradles over this T-track. It's not flat. So you don't have a flat surface here with T-nuts drop down into that T-slot. It actually cradles this. You have to ask, how often are you going to actually use the low end? If you want to use this on there, you're going to have to spend some time and effort to retrofit this to be able to have something that would mount here that this would mount to. I'm just saying, depends on how much effort and time you want to put into this. But JessEm has nothing in the works. The only way you're going to be able to mount this to here is either get a 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch spacer, or do something like this if you want it removable. Plain and simple, that is it. So I hope I have answered some questions. If you had any concerns, you can mount this to the high-low RIP fence of the Harvey table saw. You will have to get a little bit of a spacer if you want it permanent, or do like a lot of people, just get you some mag switches, 3/4 inch piece of stock, problem solved. It actually works well. The only issue is if you ever flip it down to the low position, they aren't long enough to reach past that, they will not work. Just keep that in mind. I highly recommend JessEm. They work fantastic. They keep the material down on the table and pulled against the fence, making it much more safer for you to use because it takes that chance of kickback away. There's no chance of that shifting on you. It's keeping the material down and against the fence. That is it. Thank you so much for watching. Be blessed. Take back your shack. Nailed it! For your sanity. I got to get this video out. This last portion I had to remake once I talked to JessEm to keep you better informed. Thanks again for watching. We will see you next video.